All right, so for this presentation, it was about our journal review or journal article review. For mine, it focuses on the Run by Alice Goffman. So a brief presentation overview. Part 1 is the book. Again, it'll be a brief overview. Part 2, the article, brief overview. Then we'll get into part 3, Patton to Skloot. Part 1 for the book, for the brief overview, at ODU, so of course Old Dominion University in spring of 2019 for the course ENGL 678 Sociolinguistics with Dr. Bridget Anderson. I was introduced to this book on the Run by Alice Goffman. Why? Because of the qualitative research method implemented as ethnography. The purpose, ethnographic fieldwork via observation with interviews and the collection of documents aligned to also the field notes. So when we talk about the book, just to give you some background knowledge, they were talking about Black cultural youth, young men on 6th Street, those are the names. What observation of daily life of Black cultural youth, especially Black or young Black men, when in the early 2000s, where USA, Philly or Philadelphia, 6th Street, the poorest and the most dangerous neighborhood in the large Black section of Philly or Philadelphia, how implementing the concept of ethnography, why to capture the lives, which is the daily living of the community of practice. About the article that I read, which I have here, and I try to share with you all online, On the Run, is the title, Wanted Men in Philadelphia Ghetto by Alice Goffman, when 2009, and the journal article purpose to discuss the implementations of ethnographic observations relative to prior treatments of poor and policing, and with regard to broader sociological questions and punishment and surveillance in modern era. When we talk about the article on pages 341 through 344, it addresses the field work, dealing with observations, the interviews, the documents, which were the field notes, and Goffman immerses herself into the culture. When we're comparing the Patton to Skloot, for Patton, we have ethnography, ethnographic field work, and thick description. For Skloot, we still have ethnography, ethnographic field work, and the book is narrative, but also, again, both of them have elements of the book. The difference would be pointing out, again, Patton more so is about thick description. Skloot was more of a narrative form, and we pointed out by Renee earlier that of the nonfiction. And then those are the references. So more so is connecting Patton to Skloot with the journal article that we had. So I was able to find that through the book that I had previous experience with, and how this all connects as well, again, is through the ethnography, the field notes, and the interviews that were conducted, and how Goffman immersed herself into the culture of Philly to get the content which connects into Skloot. Any questions?
Or questions? So this is it is an ethnography of that neighborhood in Philadelphia. How long did that person spend?
Okay, oh gosh, how much? Oh, and I believe the article readdresses how many years she spent before it went to publishing. I feel like it was 7 to 10, but don't quote me on that without me going back thoroughly to look at that.
Yeah,
but it was still
so
some
you read
time.
it a while ago, so you're...
Yes, it was still some time. But when we had to work in this class on the work we worked with, I was like, oh my gosh, On the Run. Thank you, ODU. Again, the knowledge connecting, but thank you, because it was the same aspects of just immersing yourself in the culture, getting those field notes, documentation, and so forth, yes.
And do you think that person, like Skloot, do you think that person kind of really became part of the family, the neighborhood, whatever?
She did. She identified with it. It was to the point that when she went back to her own neighborhood, she found herself looking over her shoulder. She was so immersed in the culture of Philly that when she had to go back as a white female back into her own society. She saw it differently, but she also said she was starting to look at her surroundings and like, she ended up like taking on the essence of how Philly and integrating herself into Philly, like how she navigated with that culture when she had to remove herself to go back into the culture she knew, she had to make that readjustment. And they welcomed her.
So Skloot is a white woman, and the
Alice
author is a
Goffman.
white woman. They're both going into black neighborhoods or neighborhoods / family. What do you think? I'm just curious your opinion. This is not a right and wrong answer, but like, what do you think is the benefit maybe or detriment of the racial difference they're trying to do ethnographies in that kind of setting?
I think at first they were questioning the motives, like why are you here? But when they realized, at least I know definitely as well for Alice Goffman, when they realized that she was to bring light to the injustices that were going on with the community, they looked at her different. They actually embraced her. I think, oh gosh, they had a nickname for her, but it kind of identified like, we know you're white, but you're down with us type of thing. I forgot what that nickname is, but they embraced her within the culture because they knew that she was there not to harm them, but to bring, again, light to what was going on within the culture.
She was there 6 years.
Thank you. I forgot, I said 7 to 10, I forgot exactly, I was still short, so thank you, yes.
All right, awesome, thank you.
Okay, no problem, thank you.
I will turn that off and I'll switch sides of the bench here, switch to the judge's side.